one of my favorite parts about like game development isn't really, the game development itself. It's more of kind of the outside stuff of like what beta concepts there are for like, the characters, what areas is gonna be, and obviously what this is about, the story. Now there's games out there that we obviously don't know, like what the original story was going to be for them, and sometimes if we're lucky, developers will say, oh, originally this one thing was going to be different in this one cutscene, and this other thing was going to be like different, or like the ending was going to be slightly different. But with Xenoblade 1, we actually got like a really kind of a big thing that would have changed a lot about the story if it came true. So originally, in Xenoblade 1, Ryan, Shulk's best friend, was actually going to portray Shulk and the rest of the party at a point in the story. Which is very different from the final game, obviously, because, Ryan doesn't do that. Ryan's, Shulk's best friend. They're homies. I'm not going to go in depth about absolutely everything, and I'm going to try to give like a brief little summary of like what it is. If I find the article again, I'll probably link it in the description or like a comment of this video, so if you want to look more into it, you can. But like as a basic summary, Ryan finds a way to go back in time with the power of like the Mechonis, because he wants to go back and save Charlotte, because like Charlotte was originally actually going to die in Xenoblade 1, and he wants to go back and save her. But since Shulk can still see the future, he realizes that if Ryan does this, a lot more people will die in the end, which you save one life to like kill 5, basically. It's like those like little kind of experiments that like you do, like icebreaker experiments, I don't know what to call them. So Shulk confronts Ryan about this, but like Ryan's like, you don't understand, Shulk, I gotta do it. It's Ryan time. And they basically have to fight each other, using like the power of the Bionis for Shulk and the power of Mechonis for Ryan. And obviously, Shulk and the party, win in the end. And, Ryan dies. Now, I kind of find this really interesting with like the Bionis and Mechonis, like what powers they give. Since like the Bionis gives the power to see the future with Shulk, and the Mechonis gives Ryan the power to change the past. So like, either it's kind of cool that like, alright, so you can either change the future or change the past, and like which one would be better in the end. And like, I think that's like a really cool concept, because like, oh, if you change the past, this things can happen, but if you change the future can be better. It's like really interesting, and I like that concept. Now with like this whole like beta story, a lot of things would have been very different with Xenoblade. Like, I don't know if like the first beginning of the game would have been the same, because I think there's like a line that talks about like, Ryan says, if you were in my situation, you would have done the same for Fiora. So like Fiora in this hypothetical game doesn't die, which I feel like that's kind of cool. That was a great idea. We trade off Charla for Fiora. Great idea. This is great, even though we lose Ryan in the end. So actually, no, this is not great. This is actually bad. Shulk, this is not good. But like, I don't think like the whole big plot reveal at the ending of like Xenoblade 1, like whole Zanza reveal, I don't think that would exist. Like, I feel like maybe Zanza and Maynath would exist, but like they would just be kind of there and be like the Bionis and Mechonis itself. And that could be also kind of interesting, because like Maynath grants like Ryan this power, and the Bionis or Zanza grants Shulk this power, and to be like kind of a nice, Zanza, and like maybe I guess an evil Maynath, or actually no, who knows? We don't really know. Maybe there's a bunch of other details I'm missing. I've only seen bits and pieces of this like hypothetical universe, which I feel like would be kind of cool for like a different game for them to try this. Maybe like Xenoblade 4 will have this like whole plot with sprinkled with like other Xeno stuff, because like apparently Xenoblade 1 is not the least like Xeno game out of like this Xeno series, because like originally it was like called Minato Beginning of the World, but they changed the name because like, oh, to honor Takahashi's work on past Xeno games, and the Minato was a blade. Boom, Xenoblade. Got him. But I guess in the end, I'm kind of glad we didn't get this hypothetical plot as like Xenoblade 1, because I absolutely love Xenoblade's story. But then again, maybe it's not fair, because maybe I don't have like, the entire game of Xenoblade 1 to go off of. I just have like a little bit of information about this hypothetical scenario, so I can't really put it into like game. If I could see it like maybe in like Xenoblade 1 cutscenes, then I feel like I could maybe prefer it more, but like, I don't know. I just love Xenoblade 1's story so much. And also, I don't want Ryan to die. Ryan's awesome. Ryan's great. It's Ryan time. And also, maybe, who knows, maybe Melia wouldn't have gotten as screwed over with, like, the Telethia and all that. So, like, Melia's people would still be around and all the high Entia. But then I feel like there'd be no point for her to be a half Entia, so she would just probably full high Entia. Or maybe they would still have that whole plot point, and, like, I don't know how they would do that. Actually, no, that wouldn't make sense, because then, like, that's because the Bionis is kind of like evil, or Zanza in this case. And Zanza, I feel like, would be good, giving Shulk the power to see future, and, like, Ryan change the past. Also, I feel like it's kind of going to be interesting, like, maybe in a couple years, a leaked version, or not a leaked, I guess, like, a beta concept for Xenoblade 3's plot could get leaked, and it could be insanely different from what the final game is. So if that does happen, I'm going to be really interested in that, and who knows, they could save all these, like, beta ideas for plots or leftovers and, like, save it all over and wrap it all together to make a Xenoblade 7 or something. So we gotta wait for Xenoblade 4 and 5 and 6, and then, like, Xenoblade Party, then Xenokart, and then Xenoblade Warriors, and then Paper Xenoblade, and Xeno and Blade. You gotta wait for all these Xenoblade spin-offs. Basically Xenoblade becomes Persona with all the spin-offs. Actually, no, I don't like that idea. I just want just straight Xenoblade games. The only really spin-off I would ever consider wanting would be Xenoblade Warriors, and as long as that's not taking up time for, like, Monolith. And who knows, maybe actually the beta plots could be used for something like that, like an alternate universe thing, like what Three Houses is. Or, sorry, Three Hopes. That actually could be kind of cool. That's actually a great idea. If they do Xenoblade Warriors, and, like, they change it up, like, so it's a completely new story, but they give it, like, the Koei Tecmo, and, like, just here's, like, the beta story for Xenoblade 1, go make Xenoblade Warriors with this story. That would be really cool, actually. Alternate universe, like, I don't know how they could change it, or just alternate universe, like, change, like, one detail, because, like, kind of like what Three Hopes is. Oh, why am I talking about Three Hopes? This is not going to become Fire Emblem. Maybe because I've just been playing Three Hopes as recently, just waiting for Xenoblade 3, because, you know, can't wait for the game. Anyways, yeah, final verdict. I'm happy, you know, Ryan got sticks around. You know, I don't care for Charlotte that much, but it's good that she, you know, doesn't die. Maybe in this hypothetical game that she would have a good talent art, and we didn't want her to die. So, who knows?